All right, let's jump into the first segment of the day, which is our marriage strategy of the week.
Yeah, well, for this week's strategy, I thought that this will be a good idea because we are at the top of the year. We're in January, and I have shared with some people this tip or strategy, and it has been really instrumental for us, and it is to have a family calendar. It doesn't have to be anything huge. I kind of put mine in like a corner, but that does is for me, it helps me to kind of focus on what we are trying to accomplish as a family, and it helps me and Ryan to communicate like what is on your schedule, what is on my schedule, what are some family things that we're having this month, and then how are we chipping away at the goals that we have set at the beginning of the year as a couple. And now I know Ryan wanted to preface this because I think he is vouching for a lot of men because men are like, I do not want another calendar. I know girls are like, oh, yay, another excuse to buy a cute little calendar and to decorate it and all that. And I think a lot of us who are very administrative love to do that. And it's not something that's, difficult or anything like it's like a struggle. I really enjoy doing my monthly calendar, but it really helps my mind to be at ease because I always say that it helps you to remove the burden of all of these things spiraling in your head onto paper. And now you don't really have to think about them. You just have to kind of glance at the calendar maybe on a weekly basis to make sure you don't forget whether it's your kids' appointments or kids' games. As your kids grow and as you guys are maybe building a business or get busier, it's very easy to get lost in communication. And we've noticed that in our marriage. So I think that tool has really helped us to be more strategic with our time and make sure that we are saying yes to things that are actually going to add to our family and not subtract.
Yes. And I think it comes down to creating a strategy of organization that works for you. Yep. And if you are hearing this, and particularly if you're a female, the idea of putting up a calendar on the wall or the refrigerator and then filling it in, all the way to the top, know that for the average man, he's probably not going to look at that calendar unless he's of a different breed, right? You have to go where he is and figure out how does he organize his life? How does he organize himself at work? How does he think about his next thing at work or at home or whatever he's got planned, and then meet him where he's at as well. Most of the time it's women engaging in these systems and then dragging the man along. And then when he misses something that's on her calendar, all hell breaks loose. And I don't want you to set yourself up for failure. You have to set the expectations, come to an agreement about how you both organize your time, and then work together to make sure that what is on your schedule is communicated. I'll be honest, I don't really look at Victoria's calendar. I know it's there, but I rarely walk up to it unless my daughter drags me to it because she is very it's on the calendar. Yeah. If something that she's looking forward to, she makes sure that I look at it. But for me, I use Google Calendars and I lay it all out, and anything that we've discussed a month ahead or the week ahead, I make sure it's on there and it's blocked out so that I don't make any appointments. I don't say yes to other things, that I can see that we have these activities. Also, you don't want to become so overwhelmed with your calendar that you've marked out every single hour of every single day with things. No, these are major events that you want on that big calendar. Birthdays, commitments, dinners, recitals, games, whatever you've got, date night, whatever you're planning in advance, to lay that out in a very organized way so that you can think. Victoria hears me say this almost every night, and she probably doesn't realize that it's happening, but I'm always like, what you got going on tomorrow? And I don't know if do you know that I'm kind of gauging where you're at?
I mean, kind of, but I'm at already almost in a sleep mode, so I'm not really in scheduling mode at that time. So.
Well, I'm getting a barometer for what she has on her plate tomorrow, gauging that against what I have on mine, and trying to feel out, okay, does she have space there? Is she going to be overwhelmed with the kids? For instance, right now, the kids are out of school, so she's watching them a lot today and yesterday while I'm doing some other work. And so I'm trying to lean in. That's That's the most important thing. Kind of gauge what's on her calendar, what's on mine, so that the next day doesn't hit us by surprise. So the marriage strategy of the week is to get organized by having some type of family calendar, whether it's a shared digital calendar, something you put on the wall, but come into agreement with how you're going to plan your days and set aside some time, maybe on a Sunday night, to talk it over. It doesn't have to be a long conversation. 10 minutes, 5 minutes even, will help you make sure that your week is successfully laid out.
Yeah, and it just will help you to push you forward with the strategies and the visions and the mission that you have set out to accomplish throughout this year. So that's our strategy of the week.